Hey there friends, it's Codiak here, one half of the team behind Legacy Gaming, and today I'm back with another Hades build guide video, and we're talking about the Winter Soldier. This one completely blew me away with how simple it was, yet effective. I think it's going to be a great build for beginning players that are still looking to get a little bit more of an auto attack build out of the game. This is not one that requires a very high skill cap to play, so I think a lot of players will get some benefit out of it, but let's not waste any time, and let's dive in. So to start, let's talk about the weapon, the Adamant Rail. This is the gun weapon in the game. It doesn't really take a lot to unlock this gun. You just have to play the game for a little bit. Eventually you will unlock it. And honestly, this one is kind of a curveball. You have swords and shields and spears, and then all of a sudden you get a battle rifle. It completely threw me a curveball the first time I used it. I hated it, but after a few runs, I really got a feel for how simple it is and how effective it can be when using the right boons in combination with the weapon. So let's start with the dataless upgrades. We're using Rocket Bomb, which basically empowers your special, your Y ability for me, makes it a rocket instead of a lob projectile, does 80 base damage, and it's the catalyst for the special boon that we'll talk about in just a minute here. The other dataless upgrade was Seeking Fire. Honestly, this one is fine. It gives me an additional 10% damage to my basic attack, gives that attack a little bit of a heat-seeking element. It was good. It's not the best one out there, but it works for this build because this is really an auto-attack build. In terms of keepsakes, this is really important. You have to get good at using the butterfly in the first, second, and possibly third biome. By the time I had reached Elysium, I had a plus 20% damage buff just because I was using the butterfly. Now when I get to the final biome, the Styx biome and the Hades boss fight, I like to use the Myrmidon Bracer. I like that damage reduction. This is not a very big Centaur Heart build. I actually don't know if I used any Centaur Hearts during this run, so I wanted that extra damage reduction in case I did get hit, and you'll see a little bit at the end of the video, I did get hit quite a few times by Hades himself, but having that Myrmidon Bracer definitely saved me. So let's dive into the boons, and the reason why this is called the Winter Soldier build is because it combines boons from Demeter and Artemis. Those are the fundamental gods that you're going to be looking for here, and as you can see on the screen, there were quite a few Artemis boons that I had implored in this build. But let's start with Demeter because she is really the key to the winter aspect of this build. Now, Frost Strike is the main one. That gives your basic attack a chill effect and some bonus damage. And that is the centerpiece of this build. Being able to stack up that chill effect, apply that slowing to the movement speed and attack speed to your enemies is absolutely crucial when using the gun. It is amazing. Again, this is an auto attack build for the most part, so having that frost effect on your main attack is huge. Now we amplify that by adding Arctic Blast to the mix. Arctic Blast, after applying 10 stacks of chill, cause a blast, clearing the effect. Now it does some basic damage when you tap out at 10 stacks, and that's really good for helping clear a room and doing that little bit of extra damage. Now we augment that even more with Killing Freeze. When all foes are chill affected, they are 15% slower and decay. Decay is basically a dot that deals a little bit of damage over a few seconds. And again, we're just elevating our X attack, our basic attack with the rifle, and that is really the baseline of the Winter Soldier build. Now moving over to the Artemis boons, you can see there are a lot of boons on the table here, and we're going to start with anything that really impacted that basic attack. And Pressure Points is the main one. Any damage you deal has a chance to be critical, 3% crit chance on any attack. That is a big deal. Critical attacks do more damage with clean kills, so that amplifies that even more. And of course, this gets even better when you start to look at things like Hidebreaker. Your critical effects deal even more damage to armor. And that's how we're making this build elevated from just a basic okay build to, oh my god, this build can pretty much destroy anything. It can work through ads, it can work through bosses, and it's really effective in that regard. Now we can amplify this even more, and we do with Support Fire. After you cast or hit with an attack or special, fire a Seeking Arrow, dealing some damage. Now that's 10 damage per arrow, and as you guys know, the Adamant Rail fires pretty much an automatic fire. Obviously you have to stop to reload. That is a lot of extra damage going into targets. Now we're going to keep piling on here with our cast. Again, we're talking about Artemis boons here. True Shot, which turns our cast into a heat-seeking missile, gives it a 10% chance to crit. We've got Fully Loaded, which gives us extra Bloodstone casts, a +2 on the Bloodstones, and Exit Wounds. Your foes take damage when your Bloodstone stuck in them is dislodged. So there's 3 different augmentations to our cast right there that amplify our damage potential. And this is huge because we're combining elements of our X basic attack with our B cast attack and making some sort of synergy out of just 2 real Olympian boons. Now, things are about to get a little weird. We go to Dionysus for our special, Drunken Flourish. I love the hangover effect. Basically shoots out a pool of a dot that enemies that are standing in it are going to take damage over X amount of seconds. And I like Drunken Flourish. This is more of a supporting aspect of the build, but it works really well in combination with that Rocket Bomb Daedalus upgrade we talked about before. Allows me to quickly fire off a weapon blast, deal a decent amount of damage, and leave a pool that's going to have some lingering effects on the enemies. Now there is one more boon I want to talk about here, and this is a Hermes boon. Hermes is often the X factor when it comes to God boons. Some things are really good depending on your build, some things are not so good. We didn't get overwhelmed with Hermes boons in this run. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but we did get Swift Strike, which increases our attack speed by 30%. And as you guys know, the Adamant Rail is an auto attack rifle, and that is huge. 30% means more chill effect on our enemies, means more damage downfield, and with everything else that we've talked about, that means more critical hits and a lot more dead enemies. So putting it all into practice, the Winter Soldier build is really safe. This is one of the builds that I felt completely comfortable sitting back, allowing all of my attacks to just do work while I pretty much never got hit. Now things change when you get to the boss and you have to deal with Hades and some of the abilities that he throws into the mix, but most of the time this is a really noob-friendly build. If you're a beginning player still struggling with the game, this is something I highly recommend. It blew me away how simple it was, how good it was, and there's even more that you could get out there. There's some more Artemis boons that you could get, some duo boons. You could even make some Poseidon boons work if you had something with a knockback to keep enemies away. But overall, this is a fantastic build if you're starting out, if you're still struggling with the game, and you want something that's safe yet effective. And there you have it, guys. You know everything about my Winter Soldier build in Hades. Hopefully you like this video. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe to Legacy Gaming so you never miss a new piece of content in your feed. And as always, join us on Discord. Our community of over 6,000 is spread across dozens of great games, so click the link below and join today. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.